Hello again. It's the new year, which just means that we did some math a few days ago and now we all have to remember. Sorry for the last two videos. Trying new things is scary and YouTube is really hard, so I won't do that anymore. As for the final update on Stibble's Codex, I have a few things to run through. First off, here are our winners, Nick and Caleb. Congrats, ya nerds, you might get these special editions before I do. Because I can't announce anything, as this is the last stretch goal video, that's it for the giveaways. The team behind me has essentially been going to war with giant companies, and we're all fighting over shipping container bookings right now. We're entirely done on our end, 100%. We just need to get the goddamn things on boats and actually moving to places. I'm gonna try not to worry too much, and I'm just gonna hope that you understand the situation and that it's pretty much out of our hands. The United States is the worst. Go figure. We're crossing our fingers and we're hoping to get everything on freight by the 18th of this month. Europe isn't too much different, and we're looking at faster options for Canada right now, so keep your eyes peeled on the Kickstarter for updates with that. But Australia and the rest of the world should have everything moving by next week. You should have tracking numbers then too. In the meantime, here's the last video that I recorded like a month ago and edited today. With love. Hey, it's me again for the last time in my room because filming is very hard. So let's run through how you get a companion. The first thing that you have to do is know where this creature lives. If you know what it is, you can make an intelligence check to deduce what environment it lives in. If you don't care or you don't know what you want, we also have environment tables in the back of the book that you can roll on freely. This way it's easier to find someone, but it could be pretty much anyone, and the more common companions are naturally gonna pop up out of the woodwork just about everywhere. Or there could be nobody. It's not like every time you turn your head there's gonna be someone floating around in space. For the trackers, you can spend up to 8 hours trying to find evidence of a specific creature in the area. These 8 hours are summed up by a survival check that either reveals tracks and poopy, or reveals that you have no idea what you're doing. If you do find tracks, you can quickly find where that creature currently is. And if you're fantastic at tracking, you might learn a thing or two about how they conduct their lives, like deducing their habit from the tracks and the poop. Now that you've found it, it's time for step 2, forming the bond. Currently, it doesn't know you, and you're in its house. You're not only intruding on its environment and being invasive, but you also want to completely change the creature's life. That's not a very easy thing to do. Rare, aggressive, and timid creatures are much harder to form a bond with, let alone find. So a barbarian that's extremely impatient and stupid and loud is basically never gonna catch something like a moon singer. But in order to form the bond, you spend an hour each day with an animal handling check, trying to communicate with or appease the creature in some way. Now, there are certain companions that are sentient or civilized, or they don't act like basic animals. And I'd say that for them it's up to the game master what they want to do when it comes to how you spend that hour. You could do anything from playing a game of chess to just bringing them a mountain of food. It's a lot of variety in the book, and you can kind of do whatever you want. Their temperament determines how long this process takes. Some of them will join you after just that first hour of giving them food, and other ones will take over a week to actually warm them up and get them to change. You can also screw it up and scare them by failing the check 3 times overall. Failing to communicate makes you seem a lot like an enemy, so that's really bad. So let's run through an example or two. I like how I've just been blocking that tiny display with the mic this whole time. That's cool. This one's super cool. This is the deck box. It has all the companions in it. And this, never before seen, is the special edition Mimcat box that has a tongue and a tail, and it's cool, okay? I like it. Wow, I like the reflection there. You can't even tell. There's a marker in there, and they're reflective because you can write notes on them and stuff. All right. That's everybody. There's a lot of them. I got the Moon Singer. Okay. And, oh, Jesus. And Cactle folk. They're civilized, so that's interesting. Specifically, the Golden Torch Cactle folk, which was mentioned in another video, and the lighting is really... Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's got a little name there. The back of the cards. Heck yeah. So I'll try to have Stibbles befriend one of them, and this satyr monk named Comeulon from an old game. I'll make them try to befriend these things. Okay, this might actually be really hard, because the Moonsinger is one of the rarest and hardest to capture creatures in the game, and Cactle folk, the Golden Torch ones, are aggressive. But that's the luck of the draw, so here we go. So we'll go with Stibbles first, and he will try to hunt the Moonsinger. So first things first, he'll have to learn about its environment through mysterious druidic means. And its environments are the forest, grasslands, lake, mountain, river, and urban areas. Stibbles is going to go to a forested lake area and spend time trying to look for it. It is very rare, which means in order to find it, he needs to beat a 20 on a survival check. So let's do that with his 8 hours. Hey, I got a lot. An 18 plus 5, so he smashes it. And after that first day, he would find evidence of the Moonsinger in the area. Probably strange rocks, or if he spent some time in the afternoon, maybe he could hear them singing on the lake bed. But eventually he does find one. Now he begins forming the bond. And in order to do that, because this thing is very hard to form a bond with because it's sensitive and timid and terrified of everything, he needs 1 hour every day for 5 days, and he needs to succeed on a DC 25 animal handling check. I'll keep it animal handling because this thing doesn't have any languages and its intelligence is a 10. That's probably not fair, but that's how I would rule it. I got a 1. Well, that's an absolute failure. I got a natural 20. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah. If I'm ruling it the same, that's 1 success and 1 failure over the course of 2 days. It is a 15. Oh. Actually, this is going to be really hard. You know what? I forgot that Stibbles had guidance, so let's do that. Wow, this is going to be impossible. Okay, that's another failure. With a 23, because this is my book and it doesn't like me. And it hates him, because these things are very timid and hard to deal with. But, I don't know, I think if you were to space it out over a few more days, it might be a little bit more forgiving, or maybe some of the rarer ones if you weren't to slip up the rolls. That's up to your DM, if they want to make it as hard as this is for the rare things, or if they just kind of want you to have it, because companions are really cool. But the way that I would run this is, I would probably have Stibbles, try to play music alongside it, because these things sing under the moonlight. So maybe if you were to play an instrument from far away and then gradually kind of try and come closer to it, because its hearing again is very sensitive, and after he finally reveals himself, it would shit its pants and run away. And then he'd have to find it again and try again, or find its brother and not scare him that hard. Now for Comeulon. So Comeulon is hunting a Golden Torch Cactle folk. These things are cacti, so they live in the desert. So I'm not going to make him roll for that, and he will have to just go look for one. So with a common creature, he would need to beat a survival check of 12 to locate them. And I need to locate my die because I suck. And I got a 1 again. I hate this video. If I were a nice DM, because I want this video to move forward, I would say that he failed to find them because they found him, and combat would ensue for a brief moment before, eventually, they would have some kind of relations. So the Golden Torch Cactle folk, they are resource hoarders because they live in the desert. So they would want to take his water, either in his body or on his person, and they also really like rare goods and weapons. So he would bargain all of his or Comeulon would bargain any weapons that he had, or interesting goods that they would take, and they would probably take him into their camp. And that's where we'll begin forming the bond. They are hard to tame, so he still needs to beat a 24 times. This is a little hard process, but usually you just have the companion beforehand. Hey, that's 1 success. That's 2. That's a 2, so I fail. That is a success. Wait, I have 1 more. I got a 1. God damn it. And a success. So he now has a friend. Good job, Comeulon. You're better than Stibbles, who wrote the goddamn book. So bam, you're now acquainted enough to travel together. Once you form this bond, you have to keep it up. The book has several ways to bond with your companion, like gifts, playtime, grooming, winning fights, or pretty much anything else that your GM is okay with. Companions that get ignored, or go hungry, or get beat up are probably gonna run away pretty quick, or they might try to kill you. I don't know who you have. But the stronger your companionship and the more time that you spend with these guys, they get stronger. They kind of level up in their own way. They get new abilities, more health, and a bunch of bond boons, which are kind of like intermaterial feats. You can also train their skill abilities to buff them up with their intelligence or their muscles, but that's something you'll just have to grab the book to do. That's the end of this video.